Please forgive the rather unceremonious setup, and indeed the lack of a microphone, because my microphone decided to go on the blink today, so that was well timed. But I did want to do a quick little episode, not a regular Jimquisition episode, but I did want to do something in response to the sad passing of Satoru Iwata, Nintendo's big cheese, who, as I say, is away as of today. Stunning news, obviously, very sad news. The guy died at the age of 55. It's suddenly, unexpected. Just a few weeks ago we saw his presentation at E3, and no clue at all that there was anything wrong. But that's that for you. I did want to do this just because I don't want to just launch into the next Jimquisition without a reference to it, and I didn't want to just add a reference to the next episode, just because I think the subject matter of the episode itself and that news would just kind of, it wouldn't be right. But yeah, I didn't want it to go unmentioned at all, which would just not be right. Mostly because I can count on one hand the amount of video game executives who I have even a small amount of respect for. And Satoru Iwata was definitely one of those executives who I respected. If only for the fact that this is a guy who, in a business suit, the guy in charge of a friggin' multinational corporation. There's this guy has livelihoods and billions of dollars at his sort of fingertips, relying on his guidance, and he's there filming himself holding a bunch of bananas and having Muppets made of himself and Adult Swim cartoons and wearing Luigi hats and saying please understand. And that's just something that I do respect, is a guy that could do that, and an executive of all people who, when you talk about them like that, you smile and laugh because the guy was fun. And that's a watchword with Iwata. This is the guy who said that video games should be fun. Video games should be one thing, fun for everyone. Now we can have a debate over whether or not video games can be or should be more than that. That is a topic that I do want to talk about in the near future, but whether or not you agree with the statement, one has to respect the purity of it. This was a guy who just wanted to make fun games and bring fun games out for not just a small set of people to have fun with, but, as he said, everyone. He wanted to make video games for everybody, which is a noble endeavour, and one that I hope is continued by Nintendo in the future. Because that word fun is almost a dirty word these days. Some critics look down on the word, talking about how things should be more highbrow than that. Other video game publishers seem to shy away from the word. They'll go on stage in their sports coats and t-shirts and trendy jeans and talk about how, their video games are epic, and talk about the scale and the ambition of their games, how cool it is, how glorious and powerful you are as a player, and they never say fun. They never say fun. And that's what struck me. Quite recently, just before E3 actually, there's this photograph that Nintendo of America tweeted. It was Shigeru Miyamoto, Reggie Fils-Aimé, and Iwata. And it just mentioned how they're there and they're going to have fun and bring fun to E3. And I just sat back and thought, well, bugger me, that word is so rarely associated with video games by the video game industry these days. Because there is this almost this sense of shame to it, because video games are so serious, and video games are a meaningful art form and deserve to be taken as seriously as movies and books and all that sort of thing. Which, nothing wrong with that endeavour, but it's nice to have fun now and then, and the fact that it's so striking that it stood out to me. The word fun was associated with video games in that instance is kind of remarkable, and Iwata wasn't ashamed of that word fun. And then when you look at the things he did in Nintendo Directs and E3 presentations and all this stuff, compared to his peers in the market, he was relatively shameless, and that's something that I enjoyed greatly and am thankful for, and I'm glad that the industry had him in it. And, you know, didn't always make decisions I agreed with. You know, I didn't really agree with Nintendo even half the time. But nevertheless, the world is poorer for Iwata's passing. And that's really all I've got to say. I'm not a spiritual person per se, so I can't say all those usual words. But I can say that thank you, Mr. Iwata, for teaching me to please understand. And I would be honoured to hold a bunch of bananas in your memory. Because that, I feel that is the way you ought to be remembered. And not in a disrespectful way, in a way to say, here was a fucking video game executive who had fun. Yeah. I think that says it all. Thank God for you, Mr. Iwata, and sleep well.